I'm rushing because I have to go somewhere else, as always, but it's a pleasure to always to be with you here. And ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you all. It's my pleasure to follow you, the four distinguished guest speakers, and share a few thoughts with you before you enjoy your dinner at the address, which is the first time I'm here. It seems to be a very nice hotel. I hope they give you good food as well. I'm delighted that you graduates of the Indian Institute of Management are establishing a tradition of assembling for a Gulf Summit. Your selection of Dubai and the United Arab Emirates as a location for the summit recognize our importance in world markets and the global economy. Dubai itself is a demonstration of the remarkable global vision of its ruler, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and his limitless imagination and tireless work for the development and prosperity. The topic at issue at this third Gulf Summit indicates that you are continuing to demonstrate the intellectual curiosity that marked your study at IIM. You are certainly here to refresh friendships and enjoy the company of colleagues, but you are also eager to learn and to think about challenging subjects. The thought that you have exchanged on today's topic, and the topic we have chosen, the global organizations from emerging markets, will undoubtedly provoke further thought and will affect your future actions. For over 40 years, your IIM alumni have shaped management practices in India and abroad, worldwide. We in the UAE have worked with you and have admired your creativity and innovation, your entrepreneurial spirit, and your dedication to ethical, dependable, socially sensitive hard work. I suspect that many of you will succeed in forming a global organizations from emerging markets. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that the terms meant to characterize the economic status of nations tend to trip over one another, dependent as they are on various defining authorities. The World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the United Nations, and the world's multifarious markets may have somewhat differing views on terms such as emerging market, developed country, developing country, and newly industrialized country. It seems as though the author of the New York Times columnist Thomas Friedman had thought about those terms and decided that none of them was capturing the reality of our hyper-connected world. In a column last month that identified 3 critical challenges to the United States, Friedman proposed 2 new terms, complete with the acronyms when he wrote these words. The first, challenge, is responding to the challenges and opportunities of an era in which globalization and the information technology revolution have dramatically intensified, creating a hyper-connected world. This is a world in which education, innovation, and talent will be rewarded more than ever before. This is a world in which there will be no more developed and developing countries, but only HIEs, high imagination enabling countries, and LIEs, low imagination enabling countries. The concept of HIEs and LIEs strikes me as being quite fitting for our hyper-connected world. What is more, Friedman's idea help us think in a special way about global organizations from emerging markets. I can only conclude that no global organizations will originate in LIEs. All global organizations will originate in HIEs. They will originate there because those countries will have enabled the imaginations of their citizens. And that brings us to an important question. How does a country best enable the imaginations of its citizens? Friedman directs us toward an answer when he writes that this is a world in which education, innovation, and talent will be rewarded more than ever. Contrary to some popular beliefs, imaginations do not flourish because hallucinatory drugs, massive infusions of alcohol, or prolonged sleeping in the hope of dreams. Imaginations flourish as a result of education only. Countries that fail to educate their citizens will not be HIEs. Now, to be sure, education appears in many guesses, and countries aspiring to be high imagination enabling countries will have to be wise about education. In the United Arab Emirates, we have taken many steps towards being a HIE. Our founder, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, may God bless his soul, recognized the essential importance of education and established a comprehensive system of primary and secondary education for all citizens alike, and likewise established colleges and universities open to all UAE secondary school graduates. Currently, our President, His Highness Sheikh bin Zayed Al Nahyan, strongly supported by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, and the ruler of Dubai, and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, has put the country on the path to developing a knowledge economy. His Highness Sheikh Khalif values creativity and innovation and believes that individuals endowed with initiatives are a force for development and prosperity in our country, within the region, and throughout the world. He recognized the essential role of education in developing creativity, innovation, and initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, to promote creativity, innovation, and initiative, a country must press forward with educational and economic reforms, with building a skilled labor force, and with the implementation of the various policies, institutional changes, and incentives required to accelerate growth and improve the business's environment. Such concerns have caused us in the UAE to continually assess the quality and effectiveness of the education that we provide our students. In our colleges and universities, we have realized that we must do more than to encourage students to think outside the box and to take risks. We have learned that we must commend risk-taking even when a student blunders. We must ensure that higher education is an intellectual adventure that constantly encourages students to reach for knowledge that may at first exceed their grasp. Of a particular concern to us in the UAE is the relevance of our education system to the hyper-connected world produced by globalization and the information technology revolution. Educators the world around are struggling with that issue of relevance. Mere mastery of technology cannot stand for education. It is highly unlikely, for example, that students will tweet their way towards wisdom. On the other hand, it is probably true that a wise person will have given some serious thought to the sociological, psychological, political, and economic effects of Twitter. We are convinced that students need to be educated to work in a global environment where competence requires a broad and informed worldview and the skills of a global leadership. We must nurture the values of critical thinking, analysis, and initiative, along with the ability to communicate effectively if we are to build a knowledge society. Vital to reaching these goals is the creation of a lively research community that becomes a part of the education process. We desire a society that supports and respects research because it knows firsthand the way that research sharpens the mind, stimulates the imagination, and lead to important improvement in society. I should mention one other aspect of education directly related to the development of high imagination enabling society. Both gender must be fully involved. A society that fails to educate its women as well as its men is destined to be LIE society in this hyper-connected world. No society can afford to bank half of its human capital in a dormant account. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make a final observation about education as we think about the future of global organizations. Recent events around the world have made us conscious of the urgent need to bring hope and optimism to relationships among people and between countries. This current state of mistrust and misunderstanding in the world has a great deal to do with ignorance on all sides. I strongly believe that education is one of the most effective ways to address the root causes that fuel hatred and mistrust. Education is crucial in our attempt to develop global understanding, build positive relationships, dispel stereotypical attitudes, nurture new ways of thinking, and yes, help build successful global organizations. Friends and colleagues, the global focus of your conference reminds us that countries around the world face similar challenges regarding various aspects of the global economy. It is certainly my view that through your leadership, you and your colleague will have a significant impact in shaping the future of our global communities. Working together, we have the power to move our globalized world to focus on common issues and to open more doors for individuals with initiatives to take the lead and to be successful entrepreneurs. As management professionals, your duty is to seek excellence in your work. I must congratulate you on this conference, which I'm sure will help you achieve this goal. Let me conclude by saying that the focus of most of my remarks this evening on education may seem to be a bit distant from the topic that you have discussed today, but however distant, education is connected in global organizations by a life-giving umbilical cord. Education feeds the imagination that will create a successful global organization. Is it not true that your education at the Indian Institutes of Management prepared you to be an imaginative leader who recognizes and values innovation and talent? Is it not true that you are grateful for and proud of the education that you received? Is it not true that you are concerned with global organizations because you are educated? And is it not true that because you are educated, all alumni of IIM, you will have the privilege of eating a fine dinner that, that you are anticipating today? Thank you. Of course, that is true, and that moment has come, and I thank you very much, and thank you for your attention, and sorry for the long speech, but and I would like to apologize for having to rush out. I have another function at Festival City, so enjoy your dinner and wish you all the best for your conference. Now I'll take the staircase.